Well, howdy, everyone. We had a pretty tough fishing week this week. I thought I'd run through kind of where I was at um, and give you an overview. So here we are in central Iowa in Ames. In our last video, we were at Peterson Pit, just north of Ames. That's where we're going to be at here as well, in a little bit different section. Um, so the way this works out is during the week, I have about, while the kids are in school, on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, I basically have about 2 hours where both kids are in school where I can go out and fish by myself. So I need to stick pretty close to home. And during that time, I have a pretty short window where I can go fish. On Monday, the weather was maybe 20 degrees. It was pretty windy, cloudy, relatively chilly out. In our last video, Vivian and I were ice fishing here in this section of Peterson Pit. Um, in this video, I'm going to fish right in here, and um, I'm using a small ice jig and wax worm, I believe, on the first set of videos, which was Monday, and end up catching a couple fish. Tuesday, during my window of opportunity to fish, there was a lost dog that came wandering in my yard. So I spent the day trying to get the dog to its owner, which we did, which was great. And then Thursday, something else came up. I think, oh, yeah. I just dropped the kids off at school and I went in the car to go do a little fishing, and the battery in the car was dead. So I spent my little fishing window, getting a new battery and getting it installed and all that fun stuff. So good news is it didn't strain me out of the lake. Um, the bad news was that I didn't get to go fishing, and then Friday the weather was really bad again. So Saturday, usually I go with Vivian on Saturday, but um, she was at her grandparents' house, so I went by myself. The weather was really nice. I went back out, did a little more exploring. Um, I tried this little pond here with no luck. I also went up to McFarland Lake here to discover. I had never been there in the wintertime. We fish there in the summertime sometimes. They have a fountain that runs in the middle of the lake here, and so it wasn't frozen in a big chunk of the middle right here. And there were probably, I don't know, 500 geese or something there. There was one person out ice fishing kind of away from the geese, but after I walked out on there, I decided I just didn't want to have to deal with the geese, especially once I started drilling holes and stuff. So I came back over here to Peterson Pits. There were some other people fishing here. Nobody caught anything as far as I could tell, except for me, and they were pretty small. But um, so on Saturday, I did a little fishing, did some experimentation with a new sort of drop shot type rig, which is one of the things I want to experiment with this year, and it worked pretty well. So those are the two places, or the 2 days where I was fishing this week. Um, on Sunday, Vivian and I went to um, Dawkin Lake, which is just north of Ames here. Go up the interstate, hang a right here over to Zeering, and it's a newer lake here, I think. At least it appeared all the facilities and were new, and um, so we we went here and did a little fishing. We didn't have any luck at all, but I could tell that it looks like it would be pretty good. One of the problems I think that we were there for 2 hours on Sunday afternoon, and again nobody else was catching any fish. The people that had flashers were saying that the fish were coming up and looking at their bait and not biting. So one of the issues that was going on right now, we have an ice storm going on today, so I'm hanging out in the house. Um, was, as we can see with the weather here, ice pellets. Was the barometer. I have a theory running right now that with the high pressure, the high barometric pressure, which had basically been rising and peaked yesterday while we were fishing, just kind of shut the fish bite down. because the rest of everything else was pretty decent. And the temperature was decent, and everything seemed like it should line up pretty well, but they just weren't biting at all. So the good news on that front is that it's going to be falling pretty continuously here over through this week, and next weekend is going to be low. The weather might be a little rainy, but it's going to be warm. It's been cold here. Obviously, we've been ice fishing, but look, we're going to start hitting 40s. If you look at the line here, which is pretty interesting, it's going to stay above freezing for almost a week. So we probably won't be out on the ice, I'm going to say, next weekend. I'll probably try to do some creek and river fishing. The creek is barely frozen over, and the river is not frozen over very much. So I'm guessing they'll probably melt. We'll get some runoff, and I might try to do some catfishing this week as well. I haven't done any winter catfishing yet, or haven't had any luck at all. So I'm probably going to try to use some cut bait. Tuesday, I'm going to try to do one more kind of expedition into these back ponds, ice fishing wise, and then probably Thursday, I'm going to switch to maybe the catfish mode. And then this weekend, probably Viv and I will hit up the creeks and the rivers. There's a couple spots that they've kind of altered a little bit that I want to try out and see if we can get anything biting. Hopefully, we can get a good bite on the creeks and catch maybe some small stuff. And then we'll go on from there, and we'll see what's going on. We'll see what's going on the week after that. So there you have it. Here we go, and enjoy the video for this week.
All right, back out at Peterson Pits again today on the deep part of the lake. Viv's at school, so I'm by myself. Fish on, I think. Yep. I'm gonna say, oh, we got a little bit of a fight here. Pulling a little drag. How big are you, pal? Oh. Hey. That's probably the biggest fish I've caught through the ice yet. Alright, I like that. Okay. Probably a 5-inch bluegill, I'm going to say. A little bit bigger than the ones we were catching yesterday. They were more along the 4-inch line variety. Fish on. Ooh, another 4 or 5 incher. He's not real big, but oh. Go on down, buddy. Feels like there might be a fish on. Yeah, there is. I didn't realize it. Oh, I probably let him gobble that all the way down, too. Yep. Don't know if I can. I might just have to cut this one off. Yeah, I don't think I can get that one. Didn't feel him on there right away. Little, I'm gonna say 4-incher. We'll let him go. That hook will probably rust out. It'll probably be all right. All right, let's see what we're doing on time. I got 20 minutes. fast. Oh, doubled up. Well, I found the secret. Look at that. 2 at the same time. I'm learning, folks. I'm learning. So that's just the difference in rigs. I mean, 1 second, boom, boom. Got those. That's on earthworms. Basically like a drop shot with a loop. What it is overhand. It's an overhand loop knot, I guess. There's probably a fancy name for it. I don't know the names of all these knots, but it's one of the knots one of the rigs I wanted to experiment with this year. So basically I bring it up until fish on. Another little bluegill. Alright. So these fish aren't real big, but I'm really pleased with the rig because I think if it works on them, it will work on the bigger stuff. And having that weight take it straight down to the bottom is so nice. Fish on. Ooh, pulling a little drag. Hey, we're getting a little bigger. Just a little bigger. That one's 5 inches. Another little bluegill. There we go. There we go. Oh, this one, well, he might be a little bigger this time. Oh, I got 2, that's why. Double catch. Boom. That's what we love to see. If you can't catch big ones, catch them 2 at a time. Another one? Oh, he really swallowed it. Another little one. He must have. Hey, he really swallowed that one. Let's try another spot.